Good day all, it's 3 p.m. on what they tell us is the 27th of the 10th, 2024. Did you put your clocks back? Why? Because somebody told you to do it. That's what we do. When somebody tells us to do something, we do it. Don't think about it, we just do what we're told. This is the Self-Preservation Society on Basel, Broadcasting Truth and Therapy, BBTT. Here I am using the talking stick. And I'm going to start like this, and forgive me, because it's been 13 years since I've sung, but this has been going in my head for a while now, a day or two. As the bombs fly on a cold and grey Palestinian morn, and a poor little baby child was born in the ghetto, and his mama cries. For if there's one thing that she don't need, it's a little hungry mouth to feed in the ghetto. Oh, people, don't you understand? The child needs a helping hand. He'll grow to be some angry young man one day. Take a look at you and me. Are we too blind to see? Do we simply turn our head and look the other way? While the world burns. You get the picture, don't you? Elvis Presley's in the ghetto. You know, I have to applaud and take me out off to Max Egan for keeping on about this because it's so important. But, you know, looking at it from an outside perspective, you know, it is merely history repeating itself. The Aboriginal people of Australia, the Aboriginal people of North and South America. I say Aboriginal, I don't mean that, do I? The original people that were there when we from the West, the so-called West, first went there. You know, if you take the history books, James Cook discovered what was already there. Didn't invent it. And same with Columbus, but of course, you know, we now know, and we have known for years, that the Vikings were trading with these original people in North America. Evidence to substantiate that. And there's also all the ancient Egyptian and Buddhistic figures that have been found, especially, you know, in the Grand Canyon. G.E. Kincaid, look him up if you've never come across him. And the pyramids across America, there's something, like I say, you know, I've done an upload a little while back, Egypt my arse. Kem was Egypt. I don't know what the name was before that, but, you know, this worldwide civilization, as far as the megalithic builders are concerned, don't know how long ago it really was. We can, you know, sort of hypothesize, and we can use science to sort of date it with, you know, carbon dating, this, that, and the other. But then, do we believe that? I'm not so sure that we do, you know. I'm not so sure that we do. Because what have we got to measure it against? How did we come up with measuring it in the way we do in the first place? You know, and nearer to our timeline is the the Tartarian, civilization, empire, whatever, and it fascinates me. And I've said before, for me, the man to go to is John Levi, Jon Levi. He's on Odyssey and he's on YouTube. He's the man to go to. And what fascinates me is that it's everything I know about these two different civilizations that I've just spoke about, Tartaria and the megalithic builders. I've learned from incarnated spirits, people that are here, and I look and measure that against so-called psychics and mediums. Some call themselves mediums, some call themselves natural mediums. I had a bit of an epiphany yesterday. They call themselves natural mediums, and yet they chase after this unnatural thing called money. So question everything and everybody. Question me. Anybody can question me. I don't care who you are. You can question me, and I will question you. I was in a conversation with Becky Friday here in my house, and I was talking about Richard Peters, and he said, when you point one finger for a pointing back at you, I don't fear that. I don't fucking fear for pointing back at me, and I'll point my finger at anyone that I feel is breaking universal law, natural law, and common law, that is causing harm, loss, or injury to another. And we should all do that. I've done an upload a few years back, are we to judge, 2 or 3 years back? Well, I am for a start. I'll judge anybody that is breaking universal and natural law and causing harm, loss, or injury to another. But these Palestinian people are going through what the Aboriginal or the original people of Australia went through, for instance, the original people of North and South America, and original peoples, the Indian subcontinent, this, that, when I think about it, the only ones that have really sort of held their own during, Western colonisation, as we're taught it. Remember, this is as we're taught, so it's open to philosophical debate and whatever. But it seems to me the only ones that have really held their own over these last 400, 500, 600 years, as we're told, is the Chinese. Maybe the Japanese. I don't know. But who are they? They're human beings, first and foremost, I suppose. The way we see things, they're human beings. But I don't look for human beings anymore. I've made this point so much recently. I'm looking for mankind, because all human beings do is what they're designed to do: serve their masters and argue with each other, fight with each other, cause war with each other. And, I've been paying attention to what's coming across my feed. And I've long been of this view, and this awareness, can't substantiate it to you, you've got to come to it yourself. But man was black. Human beings come from the black man, who were merely replicated as such by their gods. What we're told are the Anunnaki, those that from heaven to earth, space to earth come down. the first man was black. That's my contention. That's my awareness. And from that black man spawned all the different skin colours and races that we now know as humanity, human beings. When you think about this in the way that I do, when you can get rid of your national pride, all that national pride is just serving your fucking masters, and you know, we never get on as mankind. All the while we're serving our masters. I've said it before, and I won't ever tire of saying it. Thomas Sheridan come out with one of the greatest quotes I've ever heard from a living man in my time. Flags are the dusters given to us by our masters to polish their mansions. And I don't care if you're Tommy Robson or whoever. All the while you're hating your fellow human being, as enlightened and aware as you might think you are, you're just dancing to the tune of your masters. Because underneath all those different skin colours, everything is exactly the same. It's only 2% of genetics that differentiate us from skin colour, eye colour, hair colour, this, that and the other, according to Billy Carson. And if you choose to accept that or deny it, is entirely down to you and how deep your programming is. You know, I'm born in what we call England, or Albion, as it was first called. The earliest name that I've come up with, thanks to Michael Abernathy. The Fraud of English History. Go and have a look at that if you've never watched it. But no land mass. If you accept what the history books tell you, then as we are today as Homo sapiens sapiens, we all come out of Africa. And then for different reasons, were genetically modified or genetically changed in order to give all these different races of humans a complete and utter corruption and bastardisation of mankind. And it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant that as I see this, as I'm aware of this, as I know this, then I can look at those human beings that are fighting against their human beings over scraps. And they're fighting over scraps of money. This is my money, my country's money, this, that and the other. These European countries, all these European countries, you know, have got their riches by traversing the world and raping and pillaging wherever they've been. And I'm honest enough to see that. And I've got enough integrity in me to want to change that so we don't repeat it. Because I can see it. Not everybody's like me. Not everybody's like me, and I understand that because they serve their masters, their corporate masters, their political masters, all their masters, because they're feeding at their trough. They feed at their trough. And they want to court favour with their masters. They want to put their master's uniform on and go and do their bidding throughout the world. It is an evil place that we live in. And we are individually and collectively responsible for that evil. It's not Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds. It's not them. It isn't them. It's the order follower, as Mark Passio put it in another great presentation. and Larkin Rose has spoke the same in the past as well. It's the order follower, those that do their bidding and their masters. When you sit and think about it, England, let's just take England, what it done. Went and conquered the Welsh, went and conquered the Scottish, went and conquered the Irish, and then all of those assimilated. That's how the Borg works. Assimilate the mind. Not that they were separate anyway. They were Homo sapiens sapiens. But the bully that was England and its rulers got its subservience to go and rape and pillage Scotland, conquer them, and Wales, and then Ireland. And then, once they was all assimilated, they went out and conquered the world. As others have possibly done before, like the Romans, this, that, and the other. And it's America's doing now, this, that, and the other. It's the same shit. Different day. And we fall for it. And, today, America might be the demon, Russia might be the demon, China might be the demon. It doesn't matter. The world's a stage and it's all theatre for the masses, and the masses perpetuate their own enslavement. That's the great thing about Homo sapiens sapiens. The indoctrination is so deep and far-reaching, genetically as well, that they just come back and do the same thing for those same masters again and again and again. Same souls coming back for another spiritual experience to serve those same demonic, satanic, spiritual masters. Simple. But I've learnt that from incarnated spirits. I've learnt it by going within and being, as Tesla was, a receiver for all that was, is, and ever will be. 40 years ago this month, I think it is, might have been October, might have been November, 40 years ago, I went into a Christian spiritualist church for the first time. And in those 40 years, I could probably count on maybe 2 hands maximum, the number of people standing on a platform, taking a service or an evening of clairvoyance or whatever, that have come up with stuff to empower, enlighten and enable us to the prison we're in. What they do is perpetuate the prison we're in. I listened, I see a quote from Albert Best recently where he said he sat 7 years to develop his mediumship before he ever went on a platform. When I first come into spiritualism, though the majority, not all of them, but the majority of the mediums serving, they could address you, sometimes entranced, inspired, whatever, to empower, enlighten and enable you, or to offer the information should you wish to receive it. Nobody does that anymore. Wouldn't know how to do it. Deal Spiritual Centre yesterday put a post up, a quote from Martin Luther King. Brilliant quote. Can't remember exactly what it was now without looking at it, and I'm doing this. So Deal Spiritual Centre, go and have a look at it. And I wrote in response to that, in the comments, that's why I do what I do. I'm probably the only medium, and I don't like to call myself a medium, but for the context of that thread, I said I'm probably the only medium in Kent that does what I do. If there's any others out there, I'd like to meet them. but most of them just do what they do for the money, power, control, adulation. They don't like me in Kent because I speak the truth. I challenge them, and the foundations on which they stand on, they will crumble because they're not built on truth. They're built on ego and avarice and jealousy and all those things. I'm not jealous of any medium, so-called medium or psychic in Kent, because them and their guides, and I don't say this lightly, but I say it with truthfully, they couldn't stand with me. They couldn't stand with half the people I've learnt from that are incarnated spirits here. Nor do they want to. They just love the adulation that comes with them standing in front of how many people on any given night, and the money that comes. And the same with, we're all governed by this money. I'm not. I used to be, but I never charged. But I used to go out and, do what I could do for money to put a roof over my kid's head and feed and clothe them, this, that, So I worked 2 jobs. I was living on Pro Plus for quite a long time because I was working 2 jobs to provide for my then wife and 2 children, my family, my 2 children. I never took a penny off anybody that sought my counsel in any way, shape or form through mediumship, healing, this, that, and that. I've never done any of that. And I can look at myself in the mirror with humility and know that the path I've walked, whether I knew it at the time or not, but it's become clearer and clearer to me the older I get, has been one based upon truth and integrity and a pursuance of truth and whatever. Not for my ego or, for 30 pieces of silver or this, that, and now it's not just, I see it's not just mediums and psychics doing it. It's truthers doing it, so-called truthers, this, that, and it makes me sick to my stomach. I've been feeling really off for a few days, and I was saying to Shelley about it. She does my back flower remedies and this, that, and been feeling so, well, I really can't explain it, but I haven't been feeling good. And then I've done an upload yesterday, sat here and recorded an upload, and did I fucking let rip? And I named some names, this, that, and and I thought, bollocks, I don't care. I don't care who I offend. I care about who's deceived if I don't speak the truth. So anyway, I spoke for about 50 minutes. Then went to upload it, and before I upload it, I always listen back to it first. The settings on my OBS had reset themselves for the first time in months, and never recorded a bloody thing. The mic that I use had been turned off. Never recorded a thing. I've never done it. So I realised afterwards, perhaps I wasn't meant to say that. And so I sat outside thinking about it, and I realised how much better I felt. And I've phoned Shelley up and told her what had happened. And first I told her that it didn't record. And then I told her how much better I felt. And I'm still processing that. I was a bit angry as I was recording it, but sacred anger, as Mark Passio tells you. And because there's much to be angry about, people. There is much to be angry about. If you just turned your tellies off, pay attention. It's free to pay attention. Absolutely free to pay attention. If you pay attention instead of paying other people to do it for you, right? You could learn so much, become aware of so much by going within, dealing with your shadows, your demons and everything else, finding the light within you, illuminating the darkness that predates you, and then using that same light to illuminate the darkness that predates all of mankind outside of you. I don't make it up. I'm telling you the truth. This has been the result of my 40-year journey. What I speak to you about now on this my channel. And if you're watching anywhere other than my main BitChute channel, link to it below in the description box, along with loads of other information. Some good stuff in there. Dead Men's Secrets. Everybody should watch that. Some great stuff in there that I put in there to empower, enlighten and enable you. Royal Raymond Rife and other stuff. You should go and watch it if you haven't watched it. But I'm of the firm and utter conviction and awareness that the first man was black, and he has been corrupted and bastardized into what we now call Homo sapien sapien. When creation itself, with creation itself, the first beings were light beings, soul, source consciousness, and they, of which I am one, and so are you, probably, have been corrupted and bastardized into this karmic cycle of reincarnation that is not real and natural. So we keep repeating the same stuff over and over again and feeding the same entities, demonic, satanic, spiritual entities. We are their food because we are human beings. Mankind does not feed them. Mankind fights them. Human beings feed them. Homo sapien sapien feeds their masters. And the best part is they don't even know they're doing it. Because they think with their ego and their mind that they are in full control of their incarnation. They're not. You're all being played. We're all being played on so many levels. So many levels. And we can't see it. I can. And I'm starting to see it clearer and clearer, and that's why I do what I do here. So I've come up with such things as when you pray, P-R-A-Y, you become the prey, P-R-E-Y. When you reach outside of yourself for the help you think you need and you're not able to give to yourself, you're showing weakness and you become the prey, P-R-E-Y. Go within. Just had an email today from one of my listeners, Christopher from Essex, and he thanks me so much for that, and he's been doing a lot of that himself. We've had a chat on the phone recently, and he's been doing so much of that himself, and it is so pleasing to me to see the evidence of that. Bert Inglis used to say, if you just touch one on your journey, then your journey has been worthwhile. And that's how I live my life. And now and again, that one, Christopher, has contacted me and said how much my channel has helped him, and he's doing that internal work. You got to do it. You got to do it. Well, you haven't got to do it. You can perpetuate the system that enslaves you. That's what you do as human beings, because you don't know what it is to be a man or a woman. You're just a Homo sapien sapien, black, white, yellow, red, gay, straight, male, female, this, that, and the other. Anything to divert you from understanding who and what you truly are. And if you're ignorant of who and what you truly are, you will forever be used as food for those that know exactly what you truly are. And they will take your light, your essence, your power, your source consciousness, and they will use it against you. And they will get you to use it against your fellow human beings, because you don't realise, understand, comprehend that you're man and woman and mankind. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And when you see it the way I do, and I'm not applauding it, although I suppose in a way I am. But you've got to acknowledge the power that is held over Homo sapiens sapiens for so long. 250,000 years at least, so we're told. It's brilliant. And all the while we feed something, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that to me is evident today. Another thing I want to say to you, before I come in here to do this, I'm looking out over the channel, and above me, dark grey clouds. Then there's a bit of a break, and white, normal, fluffy clouds. And do you know what I see there? That opening scene in The Simpsons where the clouds are flying. So mark my words. Sticking my neck out here. Mark my words. Something the Simpsons have predicted will be happening very soon. Nearly forgot to say that. That's how the universe speaks to me. That's how I connect with all that was, is and will be. Somebody else might have looked at it and thought, oh, that's a lovely sky. I looked at it and thought, but me, that looks just like the opening credits in The Simpsons. And I sat there and I thought, something they predicted is going to happen very soon. And it may be in the next week or so with the American election. I don't know. I haven't got a telly. But I've told you. So watch for it. Watch for it. I don't know what we're going to do about what we're not doing. I know what needs to be done. And what needs to be done is for all of Homo sapiens sapiens to work on themselves. And only once you've worked on yourself can you work with each other. When you work with each other, we can bring this fucking lot down. Everything down. There's nobody coming to save you. Why haven't they done it before now? Those from outside this reality, all I see evidence of is how they've destroyed this reality. The nuclear wars of the past, where we find the evidence of now. We just perpetuate the same cycle. We build it and we destroy it, or allow it to be destroyed through our fear, ignorance and compliance. and then we build it again, and we allow it to be destroyed through our fear, ignorance and compliance. The megalithic era, civilization, Tartaria. Just think about how in our not too distant past they could have all that, and then it's gone. It's gone. Why did it go? Because J.D. Rockefeller found so many other uses for oil than just, petroleum, etc. Pharmaceutical medicine, this, that, and the other. And in order for him to profit and his ilk from that, they had to destroy that which was here. I don't think the Dark Ages were that too far in the past. I think the Dark Ages may well have come between the end of Tartaria and petroleum and stuff like that. That's where I think the Dark Ages really were, because I don't believe history in any way, shape or form anymore. I believe Soren Kierkegaard when he says history is a lie, telling of events that never happened and told to us by people who wasn't there. When you look and see evidence of Bibles 200 years ago or so, saying that we had 13 months, you won't find that in a Bible today that's printed today. When you look at books over 120, say, years old, which is the figure that most people say, completely different knowledge and information that has been wiped out. And I've said to you before, we're only able to talk about Tartaria today because Vladimir Putin, some years back, declassified loads of papers. And so ordinary Russian people were looking at these papers and seeing about Tartaria. That's where it started. Our knowledge of Tartaria started. And then you get people like John Levi and Martin, I can't pronounce his second name. His channel's Flat Earth British, I think. People like them and many others talking about it. But like I say, start with John Levi, because he generally promotes other people who've got some really good information, and I like that about him. He's not egotistical enough, and you can tell that by his voice. He's not egotistical enough to think that he's the be-all and end-all, like so many others think they are. I posted a film in my Facebook group recently of Anthony J. Hilda in 1967. 1967 he made this film. Go and have a look at it if you're on Facebook. In my group, link in the description box below. He was here before some of us were even alive, let alone those that were woke up to it. Him and Eustace Mullins, Jordan Maxwell, and people like that, Ezra Pound, G. Edward Griffin. He don't get the respect he deserves. He's been going almost as long as, if not longer than Anthony J. Hilda. Don't get the respect and acknowledgement because we create new gods. And a lot of you, truthers, your new gods today, are truther gods, so-called truther gods. And most of them want you to buy something or invest in Bitcoin and crap like that, and you fucking swallow it. I can't get my head around that. I really can't get my head around that. Or buy their books, their cups, their DVDs, their sweatshirts and their baseball caps and butt knows what else. If we are to be free, then the truth must be free. I don't care what anybody says. Anybody that is charging you in order to try and help you or give the illusion of helping you, be that a truther, a psychic, or a medium, a spiritual medium, or so-called natural medium, or whatever, they're pissing about you. They're taking the fucking piss out of you. How often do you hear those of you that do go into spiritualist churches, go to see mediums, how often do you hear a message from spirit saying money's an illusion, it's not real? From the spirit world. You don't. You do hear by people here, incarnated spirits here, but you don't. I've never had that as a message from anyone at any given point in time in those 40 years. Never. And if anybody has, I'd love to hear from them. I'd love to hear from them. If they've had a message like that from a disincarnate spirit, I'd love to hear from them. Really make my day, that would. And as I said recently, I'm open. I'm not hiding from you. My email address is below in the description box. Contact me. If you've got evidence contrary to what I'm saying, then contact me and I'll learn from you. I'm happy to learn from anybody. I'm willing to learn from anybody. I'll pay attention to anything. But don't think I'm going to pay you for it, because money ain't real. Don't think I'm going to pay you for it. And you that go out there to these spiritualist churches, or that serve the spiritualist churches, learn the history of spiritualism and show some integrity like the founders of this movement, of the movement called spiritualism. Show some integrity like they did. And do what you do because it's the right thing to do and you do it for the right reasons. Not to court favour from another. Just simply speak the truth, even if your voice shakes, which is what I do. I try to do. Man is black. Human beings are black, white, yellow, red, brown, gay, straight, male and female. Your soul has no gender. Your soul has no skin colour. Your soul is pure light. If indeed you have a soul. If you haven't already sold it, so to speak. Wake up to who and what you truly are. Face your own internal battles. Conquer the self. Conquer your darkness. Conquer your demons. And then you'll be a man, and we can stand up together as men, man and woman, and bring down all that enslaves us. Because only we can do it, and only we can do it here in the third dimensional reality, which is why we keep as souls coming back here. Of that, for me, there is no debate. With the exception of people like this figure called Jesus and Mithra, etc., maybe Thoth and a few others. When has anybody come from outside of what we perceive this third dimensional reality to be and actually given us the freedom that we can only gain for ourselves. Think about that. Freedom is just another word for nothing left to lose. My black brothers and sisters that are man, I stand with you. My soul brothers and sisters that are light, I stand with you. Who do you stand with? This message resonates, share the message. Don't share me, share the message. Pass it on. Pass it on. Stop paying and simply pay attention. Mitako yo yasin. We are all related, we are all relatives, and I tell you, we're all connected. Palamia, thank you. In Lakesh, in you I see another me.